pictorial representation of a waterfall model. One is a requirements phase, analysis phase, design phase, coding phase, testing phase, and deployment phase. Here, each phase contains a series of planned activities. For each and every phase, there is a clear entry and exit level. And every phase will deliver one output. So that output will be forwarded as input to the next phase. Okay. So suppose the requirement phase will deliver one document, one information that will be passed to as input to the analysis phase. Okay. Now, if analysis phase will deliver one document, that will be input to the next phase. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of? We'll go through one by one. We'll go through one phase by one. One is the requirements gathering. So in the requirements phase, so in order to develop any software, first we need to collect requirements from the client. Senior business analyst in the software organization is responsible to collect requirements from the client. So this requirements phase is the initial phase of SDLC to collect requirements from the clients. Once all the requirements are collected from the clients and they are processed. So once we collect the data and they are processed, means first we need to, the business analyst will check that those requirements are feasible and they are satisfying the completeness and consistency. What is the meaning of completeness and consistency and feasibility? Suppose if I ask, suppose a client asks a requirement like this. Suppose he is designing a car, so in such a way that he should catch the speed of 200 kilometers within a fraction of 0.0001 second. So I think it is an infeasible requirement. So business analysts have to identify those infeasible requirements and need to express their views to the clients so that those infeasible requirements should be converted into feasible way. Similarly, the requirement should satisfy the property of completeness and consistency. What is the meaning of completeness and consistency? Suppose what is the meaning of incomplete requirement? So incomplete requirement is a requirement that doesn't have any full description. That is called incomplete requirement. So let us I will give you a simple explanation on incomplete requirement. Suppose a client having a requirement like this. When a temperature becomes high, the heater should be switched off. So once again, when the temperature becomes high, the heater should be switched off. So it is an incomplete requirement. Why it is incomplete requirement? Because he not mentioned at what is the range of temperature. Okay, so he is simply saying that temperature becomes high. What is the range of temperature? What is the threshold of high temperature? Who doesn't know? So that is the meaning of incomplete requirement. Suppose one more example for incomplete requirement is if a student secures less CGPA, then we need to intimate to the parents of the student. So this is also an incomplete requirement because so here not mention the less CGPA. What is the range of less CGPA? And what is the condition for less CGPA? And how we are going to intimate to the parents, that is also important. So either it may be email, or it may be postcard, or it may be through phone contact, or it may be face to face. Here a client not mentioned clearly. So that requirement is under incomplete requirement. Okay. And what about inconsistency? Suppose what is the meaning of inconsistency? Inconsistency requirement is a requirement that will conflict with other requirements. Okay. Suppose you just watch this third example. One stakeholder requirement is like this. A student secure fail grade in any semester, student cannot join in next semester until he clears a subject. One more requirement is Student secure fail grade in any semester, he can clear the subject by taking it as an extra subject in any later semester. So these two requirements are facing conflicts. So this requirement is an inconsistent requirement. So business analysts will process all these requirements, and they will finalize in such a way that those requirements are clearly defined. Once it is clearly defined by the business analysts, then those requirements are documented, and the document name is a BRS. So BRS stands for Business Requirement Specification. Simply, some companies it is known as a CRS, Customer Requirement Specification. So the final output of requirement phase is BRS, Business Requirement Specifications. Okay. So let us write some documentation names of each phase, so that we, majority of the students can get an idea. Okay. Suppose this is a SDLC. So what is the output of this requirements phase? One is a BRS. BRS. Okay. Who are the key persons involved in this requirements phase? BA. BA stands for Business Analysts. Okay. So business analysts are the responsibility to collect requirements from the clients. Once those requirements are collected clearly from the clients, and those requirements are documented, the document name is a BRS, Business Requirement Specification. And one more thing, that this BRS plays a prominent role while developing any software, because if any future conflicts rises between the client and the software organization, they will go through this BRS. So that is the reason BRS is written in informal language or end user language. Okay. Next one. So after development of this BRS document, then we will move on to the next phase. So here we will create a requirement, so that we will develop a software based on this requirement. So our client requirement is, suppose a supermarket owner wants to attract customers from their customers. Okay. So he wants to implement a chocolate mission, those who purchase more than 5,000 rupees. Okay. So the customers those who purchase more than 5,000 rupees, then they can use chocolate mission in the supermarket. So customers can enter two numbers to get chocolates from the chocolate mission. The number of chocolates released by the chocolate mission is equivalent to sum of two numbers entered by the customer. So that is the simple requirement from a supermarket owner. Okay. I hope all of you understood this concept. Now we will analyze this requirement. Now we will design use cases. Now we will write a code for this requirement. Now we will test how a tester will test it. Now we will implement it. So that is the our session, a practical software development life cycle. Now, if time permits, we'll go to the additional requirement. So what will happen if we create another requirement? If we need to add one more requirement to the given BRS, then what will happen? Okay. Now come to the analysis phase. So the input for analysis phase is the BRS. So here system analyst, SA, system analyst will go through the BRS. So BRS contains just the abstract lines. So those requirements can be elaborated in terms of functional and non-functional requirements. And one more thing, that SRS is in formal language, so that anyone in the organization can use it. So based on this SRS, even designers will design it. Programmers, if they have any doubt, they go through the SRS. Even testers, if they have any problem while testing the code, they will go to the SRS. So that is the reason SRS is in formal language, so that anyone in the organization can use it. So in the analysis phase, system analysts will identify which programming language is suitable to develop this software. Okay, how many staff members need to recruit for this software? Okay, how many teams need to divide it to develop the software within the time and within the budget? So like that, a formal analysis done in this phase, and those analysis can be documented, and that document name is SRS, System Requirement Specifications. Okay. Now the next one is here the output of analysis phase is SRS. So who are the key persons involved in analysis phase? System analysts, SCA. Now this SRS document is forwarded as an input to the design phase. Okay. So for our requirement, I think it is C language is more suitable to develop this uh, to satisfy this requirement. And one more thing, that how much time will it take to complete this requirement? Minimum of 4 to 5 hours. Okay. And what is the budget? So what is the budget? Budget is assume that suppose I'm going to implement a chocolate mission in a supermarket. So for the cost of chocolate mission along with to embed the code into the chocolate mission, it requires minimum of 10,000 rupees. Okay. That is analysis done in analysis phase. Next, we will move on to the design phase. In this phase, designers, system architects transform the SRS. Whatever the requirements available in SRS can be converted into a structure. So that is, in this design phase, they design some diagrams that can be represented as an architecture of software product. So this design can also act as a blueprint for actual coding to proceed. Okay. Now, what is the output of this design? So output of this design phase is SDD. SDD stands for System Design Document. SDD stands for System Design Document. So this SDD contains two parts. One is a HLD and second one is LLD. HLD stands for high level document. Second one, LLD stands for low level document. Low level design document, high level design document. So what is the meaning of high level design document? What is the meaning of low level design document? High level design document means they just describes the components who are corresponding users. Okay. They just suppose if we write use cases for this chocolate mission, then this is a HLD diagram, a sample use case of HLD for chocolate mission. So a user is interacting with chocolate mission. Now in the LLD diagram, we need to elaborate the minute functionalities of components. Okay. Suppose the chocolate mission have to verify the purchase details, and chocolate mission should verify the data entered by the user, and chocolate mission should release chocolates according to the data provided by the user. So this is a sample use case of LLD for chocolate mission. Now this SDD contains entire a combination of HLD plus LLD. Now let's write the the document name. So design phase will produce a document called SDD. So who are the key persons involved in design phase? One is the designers, and some companies having designation that system architects. System architects. Okay. Now this SDD document as input to the coding phase. Okay. So in this coding phase, so all levels of developers, senior developers, juniors, freshers will come into this phase. So in this way, convert the SDD system design document into coding phase. So the output of this coding phase is a source code document. Source code document. Now we will elaborate this coding phase because we belongs to this coding part. So as per our requirement, we need to implement a chocolate mission in such a way that first the chocolate mission should verify the user purchase order. Once it is valid, then user need to enter two numbers. Based on the two numbers, chocolate mission should release chocolate mission should release chocolates. Okay. Now let us write a program in such a way that that should satisfy for all the test cases. Okay. So now here I am going to write one simple program. So this is a simple program. So in the coding phase, programmers develop this part. So enter here I am entering this purchase order. So if purchase is greater than 5,000, then we are going to take two numbers from the user. If the purchase order is less than 5,000, then we are going to print that this purchase is invalid. So now if the purchase is valid, then chocolate mission will identify that the purchase order is valid. Now user can enter two numbers. So once it enter two numbers, then chocolate mission will release chocolates based on sum of two numbers. Okay, is the program is correct or not? Is the program is perfect? Is the program is perfect or not? Any student? Will it suitable for to implement this program in a chocolate mission? Correct? Okay, let us verify. Now assume that we are programmers. We have designed this program. We have coded this program. Now this code will be transferred to the testing phase. Okay. Assume that it is a P11. It's a P11 program. Okay. So assume that we are programmers. We have written this program as per our requirement. Now this program need to tested by the testing department to verify the code is correct or not. Okay. Now let us go to the next phase, testing phase. Once code is ready, then testers will enter into the situation to test the code. So testers always check that testers always test the code with a perspective of end user, not with the perspective of coding department or programmer. So that is the reason testing plays a prominent role. Okay. So now we are the testers. Now we need to test the code as per our requirement. Okay. First we will design the test cases for this code. Okay. So assume that we have designed these test cases. So we need to design test cases, not only positive test cases, we need to design negative test cases to test for coveraging of all kind of data. Okay. So for that I have created some test cases. One is a positive test cases and some are negative test cases. So what is the meaning of positive test cases? Suppose if I supply 4, 5. So these are the general data. Anybody will expect 4, 5. So if we submit 4, 5, then it should release 9 chocolates as usual. Suppose what will happen if I enter negative? If I enter some other numbers A, B, who suppose if the program crashes abnormally, what will happen? So who doesn't know? So that is the reason we need to check all kind of test cases on this code. Okay. So what will happen if I run the program? If I give input A and B, what will happen if I give the output if I give the input 4.5, 5.5? And fourth case is what will happen if I give 4 and 5.5? Okay. Now let us check it. Let us verify this code. See here, our program name is a P11. Now I'm going to execute this. I'm going to execute this. First one. So enter your purchase. Suppose I have purchased 8,000 rupees. Okay. Enter two numbers. Now purchase order is valid. Now chocolate admission allowed user to enter two numbers. Suppose if I enter 4, 5 as mentioned in the test cases, yeah, 9 chocolates released. So first test cases are valid. Okay. If I suppose now once again if I execute the program P11, then enter your purchase order. Suppose if I enter suppose 8,500, then enter two numbers. If I say A space B, then see this. It should give a message that A B are invalid inputs, but it is releasing one chocolate. That is the problem. So we identified an error in the code. Okay. Now suppose what will happen if I submit two numbers, two float numbers. Suppose the purchase order is 6,000, 4.5, 5.5. See this. Now the scanf function accepting two float numbers, even though I declared as integer numbers. That is the biggest problem in C language. We need to more careful while designing a code. See here, 4 chocolates are released. Okay, that is here also third test case is also failed. Now if I execute one more time, now see this purchase order, enter two numbers. One is a 4, second one is a 5.5. Now 9 chocolates are released. That means, see, what is our expected output now? What is our actual? So here we should release. So actual result is 9 and 1 and 4 chocolates released and 9 chocolates released. See this, the actual result and expected result are deviated from second, third, fourth test case onwards. That is the problem. See here, we have deviated these test cases. So which means our coding having some errors. We need to rectify it. Okay. Now we will pass this information to the coding department. So and so these test cases failed. You need to design the test cases properly. You need to write the code properly. Okay. So now we will share this information to the coding department. Again, coding department need to verify it. So they have to design. They have to write the code properly. Once they have written properly, then again suppose this is a P12. This is the modified code of previous version 1.2. Here what I have done is, so suppose scanf, what is the functionality of scanf is it returns number of successful inputs. So that is the reason here I'm capturing the input value, whatever the successful inputs read from the keyboard, and capturing those successful inputs. If I submit input values, if the scanf function successfully read it, then k value is matched with 2. Otherwise, your input is invalid. So even though if I submit like this, the entire coding is not work for some test cases. That is the problem. Generally, we will write this kind of coding in classroom. That is the problem. So in real time, this program won't work it. That is that we need to get it. Okay. So even though I will give you one more explanation. See this here P12. Here I'm executing this P12 version. Enter purchase order 6,000. If I enter 4 space 4.5, see this 8 chocolates released. Even though I am capturing this scanf return function, here this case is a failed. That is the problem. So here once again the tester identified a problem in the code. Okay. So how we rectified such kind of codes, then we will move on to the next one, P13. So here I have done modifications on the previous version. Again I released a new version of the new version code. Okay. Then again tester will test this application. It's a P13. Now where is P13? Okay. Now this all of you check it out. P13 is working properly or not. Suppose 6,000. Okay. Something 47. Okay, 57. No problem. It is working. Now P13. Suppose if I enter A comma B values, it is showing that your input is invalid. Now if I enter P13 again, 9,000. Now suppose if I say 4.5 comma 5.5, it is showing that your input is invalid. Now if I execute one more time, if I give two numbers 4 comma 5.5, see this, your input is invalid. But see, this P13 is working successfully, no problem at all. But what I am trying to tell you that, see here I am reading the numbers as a float numbers, not integers. So that is the main difference between the classroom programming versus the real-time programming while developing a software. Okay. So once we need to understand this code, then this code will satisfy all the test cases provided by the tester. Once a tester is successfully tested this application, then this code is perfect one. Once it is a perfect code, then it is forwarded to deployment and maintenance phase. So this is the final phase of SDLC, and it is deployed into client environment. So if any feature error occurs, the maintenance department will come and it fix the errors based on SLA. Okay. I hope majority of the students having knowledge on SDLC concept. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I request the participants. So if you are having any doubts, you can please ask the resource person. So Ramendra sir will clear your doubts.
Do you have any doubts?
Sir, please conclude, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay. I thanks today's resource person Ramendra Reddy sir for sharing his knowledge on the software development life cycle with the students and faculties. And I thanks the participants who stayed here for half an hour and gaining knowledge. Okay, thank you. Thank you one and all. Yes, sir, the section is
Thank you,
closed.
sir.
You can leave.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, Ramanjan sir, for your nice presentation, sir.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Yeah, all of you can leave the class.
Yes, sir.